My name is Cynthia Chavez, and I'm working alongside with Xavier, and we're going to be teaching you how to use Padlet and all of its good resources that is great for education. So here is Padlet. You usually just start by going to padlet.com, and it's going to take you to this screen that you see in front of us. In essence, you can sign up for free. And they do have an install Mac app. So if you have a MacBook, it just makes it easier for you to use. So we're going to sign up for free. Again, they'll take you to the sign up screen. So you can either sign up with your Apple ID, you can sign up with your Google ID, or Microsoft. Right now, I'm going to use my USC ID just to log on and to create an account. Okay, so let it just take a moment. So this part, as you can see, I skipped over, so I don't want to give everyone my password, so that part has been omitted. So as you create your account, you are taken to this screen where it says welcome to Padlet. So it's going to ask you to choose your membership tier. Again, you can use, there's 3 tiers. There's a platinum, where you can do unlimited Padlets, and you can have up to 500 MB to upload. And that's $9.99 a month or $100 a year. You can get the gold option, which is 20 Padlets and 100 megabytes to upload. Again, that is $6.99 per month or $70 per year. We're going to try the Neon package, which is just 3 Padlets and 20 megabytes of upload, and that's free just because we are teachers and right now we are students, so I can't afford these luxuries. So hopefully in the near future, if you can, you do have these options for the starting gold and then platinum option if you want to be very bougie and like treat yourself. So let's start with the Neon package, the free package. So you press continue and it welcomes you to Padlet and it lets you know what kind of tier you are on. So let's go and let's get creative. Okay, automatically you are given a username, and when you also log on, you get like kind of this quiz to do. How likely are you to recommend Padlet to a friend or colleague? I like to say a 10 because I really like using it. It really has made work life in the classroom so much easier and so much more engaging with the students. The students love this. Again, so if you look on the left hand side of your browser, you're gonna see this little toolbox, and it has recents, bookmarks, your icon over here. If you have anything that's shared, a gallery, and just adding a new team or in general over here. And it also will take you to this little column or this little notification icon, and you're gonna see what's new on Padlet, and it'll kind of give you an update within the software, any new things or gadgets that have been used to solidify and modify your Padlet options. So let's start by clicking on the right side icon, the pink one, and it says make a Padlet. So we're gonna make a Padlet, and it gives you an option to choose your format. Again, this isn't forever just stayed like this, or it isn't solidified. You can always change it later. So there's that option, and a little bit of words here reminding you that you can change later. So you get to choose between a wall format or a wall with sections, and they call this a shelf. So let's start with a wall, and it starts initiating it, and it also gives you the options to show notifications, and that's usually pretty good when you're doing this live in class, so you know what is going on and who's adding into what. Okay. So let's say I want to add and invite members. Okay. So this is the option where you can add people. You can look them up by search, by username, by email, or by name. Usually by this time you already have students that have already created an account, so this just makes it easier, and you just look them up and you end up searching them by username or email. So that makes it easier. Okay, so here you can figure out the options. If you want to share this Padlet to, let's say, Schoology or Google Classroom, you could always copy the link to clipboard. You could, make a slideshow if that's going to be either in a certain website or a Google site. You get a QR code so students can, in essence, get access to this Padlet as shown here. So usually when students can just take out their phones and just press the QR code if you just want to do a quick little Padlet. Again, it gives you the option to embed in your blog or website, and then you can share on your Facebook or Twitter, and here it gives you the option to share on Google Classroom if that's the format that you're using. Okay, so let's just go back. And you can also make this secret. So it gives you privacy options. So if you don't want if you just want your class to just look at it, it does give you that option. And then visitors can write. You can always change privacy settings if you just want to keep it private and it's just for you. You could do that. You can add a password, make it password protected, so making sure not everyone has access to it. Or you can make it public and let the whole world see it. Okay, and then it also gives you the option to visitors can read, can write, or can edit the Padlet. A lot of times for the classroom, you want to have they can either write or they can edit. Okay, a lot of the times I use write, so I can just have students view and add photos, but they cannot edit, and I would need to modify or approve the post. And that kind of gives it a little bit a modification, and that way students just don't go all wild. But if you trust your class completely, you could give them the whole edit option. But right now I like to keep it in the writing option, or they can only write, just because I do have certain students that kind of go wild. But in this way, it's just slowly building up the trust with the students. So it's really just up to what is preferable for you. Okay, so I'm going to discard the changes, and I'm going to just, usually you get a follower, or I think you get one follower, and that's going to be me. So I'm one follower, so I'm the one that created this Padlet. But usually you get your activity and any requests or anything on follower activities here on the activity section, and it's going to be in this bell icon. Again, you can show it as a slideshow. Right now I have nothing on, so the slideshow is nothing. But if I just want to start editing, I could start doing this. I would need to end up just making the Padlet. I can just add by right here. I can double click anywhere, drag files in, paste from clipboard, or click here to post. So where I go is all the way to the bottom with the little plus icon. I click it and it turns into a pencil, and I just end up making it. And I just start adding to the Padlet. So here it says My Epic Padlet. So we're going to keep that cool name, and we're going to put cats. So here you have the options of either uploading a file, take a photo, attach a link, search for an image, and it gives you more attachment types. And here, as you open this, it will give you can screen record as well. You can image search, you can add your own Spotify, you can web search, you can add a location, add some YouTube videos. So let's add a YouTube video, especially because I know my kids love to add little quirky things. So let's say we're looking for cats, or this is just a warm up just to kind of focus on the social emotional learning aspect of everything. It is really hard. I know recently there has been some testing going on, so I like to make something fun before we delve into biology. So I will either ask students to just, if they feel comfortable sharing a video, something really cute, something funny before we start. So let's say we're gonna look at cats. So I'm gonna put something fun and light so the kids, or for students, can end up just looking at, and we can go over it as a quick little warm up before we delve into our lecture. So let's say I'm just gonna add this video, so it automatically embeds the video that you choose, and you just click publish, and now you have your first video. Okay, and then if you want to view it, you could just go like this and it starts playing. Okay, so let's try another thing. So let's add, let's say, a photo. So you could actually, if you want to, personalize your own Padlet, whatever you want to do, you could actually use their photo booth. As you can see, I'm right here. Don't mind the robe, it's a little drafty in my room. But you could use this as a way of just connecting with your students, taking a class photo. So let's just, I'm not going to take a photo because that's just too much, but I'm just going to close that. But that's the idea. If you want to take a photo, that's the option that you can make. Literally, you're customizing your own Padlet. You're making it on your own, and you're making it to either, fit the classroom decorum or just something really fun to do with you in your class. And then you can also, this is a good thing because you could search for images. And let's say we're going to look for the cell. Okay, so you're going to end up adding this as the cell. Let's say you want to keep this let's say you want to keep this very professional. And this is the Epic Padlet is just now called cell structure. Okay. And again, the way how I did this was just double click on the title of the Padlet, and it will take you to settings, and here you can add and customize your title. You can add a description. We are students warm up for biology class period. Sorry, I like to capitalize all my letters. Period 3. You can add an icon if you would like. I like to make it fun, so I'm gonna add a little dog, so I'm gonna save that. You can change the wallpaper color. I kind of like this color for biology. You can do a color scheme, which could be dark or light, and that just changes, as you can see, the structure or the background of the picture. I like to keep it light, so I'm going to keep it light. You can also change the fonts. I kind of like this funky little font, so we're going to keep that. And then you can also have the layouts where you can have groups post by section, and it breaks it down to a section part. You can also add author and timestamps, which is good to embed because then you are able to see who posted and what time they posted. If you want more interaction, you can have them work together, and students can add comments. So I always like, especially if it's a warm-up, I always have my students write at least one positive thing that, they see or what they like. Okay. And then if you really don't trust your students, or you're just getting to know them, you could do a required approval. So it's basically you as a monitor gives you the chance to approve post. And this also filters out profanity, so it replaces any bad words with emojis. And this would essentially be the URL that you would either paste on your Schoology account, or you would just provide to the class. Okay. And it also gives you appearance, gives you the layout in this section. If you just don't want to go all the way down, you do have appearance, layout, and it just facilitates the process. Okay. So let's say I'm a student. I would just post a cool picture, just showing how the comment option looks, and it's placed like this. So at least you know that. So let's add a little bit more to our Padlet. Again, we end up looking for the plus icon, and we end up Google searching. Let's say, again, we're going to do cells. Luckily, it was already suggested. So I want more of a 3D model. I'm going to add on the subject headline on top, 3D model cell structure. Okay. And I can just write, look at the model. And then you just publish it and it goes on there. Okay. Again, you can always have students add comments. This is actually, if anyone writes anything bad, they will be flagged, or they would be replaced. Any bad word will be replaced with a emoji icon, so it keeps it very PG. So this is how you can either structure it. This is basically how you can do your Padlet. It's kind of like a bulletin board, I like to call it, where everyone can embed pictures. You can embed various media and audio options. As you could see earlier, I think you were able to also embed Spotify. So let's say I want to embed Spotify. We're going to put some music to kind of just go with studying. So it would just open up the Spotify thing, and it would just start playing this. Okay. So this is just a preview of how it's gonna look when you create your own Padlet. Again, you can make it your own. Make anything that you feel is gonna really engage. I feel this as it's a really good engagement tool and a very interactive tool, and usually students love this. So I'm gonna actually show other completed Padlets and the various versions and how they look. So let's move on to this. End up using Padlet. It usually shows you your recent Padlets. If you go up here, you can bookmark your Padlets if you would like. And then you can share your Padlet, and you can actually see other galleries, which is a good part. And this is in the gallery section. This kind of gives you a timeline of our calendar. You could see how a calendar was used within the history context. Now let's go back. You could see a timeline on Grammy songs of the year 2010 to 2019. Again, you can listen to some Adele. And then it gives you an option to go to Spotify. It's a very interactive tool, and you could also browse and check the various already created Padlets and how they are used. You can make it extremely colorful, you can make it extremely funny, and the options and the creativity is all up to you. So this is a compliment board, and in this section, I think this is being used just for funny gifs and funny sayings. So that's a good thing. Here you could see how it's used on a food blog. Again, it could also be used as a blog style. Here's being used as a meal plan. You can embed links, and you can just write, basically just write, kind of like a blog format. Also, if you don't want to add it as just a classroom objective, you could use a Padlet to plan your own wedding. So, this has usage even outside of the classroom in a personal setting, or if you're engaged or are waiting to get married, this is a good way to just post like a vision board and post what you like and share it with your significant other. So it has usage outside of the classroom, which is good. Very versatile tool. Again, if you would like to do a happy birthday for a friend Padlet, have all your friends come over, have all your students make a happy birthday Padlet for each student or a student that's having their birthday that month. This is a cute way of doing it. Again, a very, very versatile kind of bulletin poster slash like post-it board. Except this is more interactive and very technologically engaged. Okay. And definitely the world is your oyster when it comes to Padlet. So you can see and kind of notice all the differences or all the different things that you could do within Padlet. There's a wall option, there's a stream, a grid, and even a map option where you could just end up looking. This is a cool point. Like, you can end up looking where the maps of the 20 best restaurants in San Francisco, and it shows you a map gallery and pictures along with it. So it's a very interactive tool, very versatile, and it could be used alongside the classroom or, like I said, in personal usage. And that is it. Now we are going to be trying, or you guys are going to try out how to make your own Padlet. Again, I was able to find out if you are able to, in essence, upgrade. So when it comes to these upgrade packages, you can have a school account. Usually it depends on how much your school wants to pay for how many teachers. So Padlet could be covered by your school. If not, it could come out of pocket, and these are the costs again. Okay. So now let's make our own Padlets, and hopefully I will be walking around and answering any questions. So let's have fun with this class. Thank you.